What's up, guys? My name is Timbo, and welcome back to another episode of The Mystery Behind. And man, does it feel good to say that. I missed you guys, I really did. I know I've had a few videos here and there over the past few weeks, but to finally be able to come back, write a script, be in front of a mic again, and talk some Destiny just feels great. If you're new to this channel or this series and haven't seen a Mystery Behind yet, first of all, welcome, and secondly, these videos are designed to talk, discuss, theorize mysteries within the Destiny universe. Before Destiny 2 came out, I made a number of videos on characters such as the Stranger, the Consul, Osiris, and Xur, just to name a few. Which, if you want to check those out, I'll place it in the cards for you now. And I was contemplating whether I should continue the series or not. With the game being out and a lot of the questions answered, I wasn't sure if there would really be anything shrouded in mystery anymore. That is, until I finished the campaign. So this is a bit of an experiment for me because it's the first time the topic isn't a specific character. Instead, we are going to be focusing on one event in particular that occurs after the credits roll. Now, while this video is going to be focused on the post-credits scene, I'm going to start a few moments before this happens. Spoilers, by the way. At the climax of Destiny 2, you go face to face with Gaul. He's able to obtain the light, which allows him to use particular guardian abilities such as Hammer Bros, Emperor Palpatine Hands, and even the Master Race itself. Now, your gameplay probably doesn't look as cool as what you're seeing on screen. I am a Destiny pro if you didn't already know, so you may have died a few times, maybe fallen off the map, things like that. It's okay to feel bad. It's normal. I get it all the time when people witness my uncensored MLG gameplay. But either way, you eventually defeat him, and it looks like you, silent, boring, generic protagonist that does all the things, has saved the day once again. But wait, there's more. At this point, I truly believed that Gary was going to go full Oryx on us, transform into something else and become the raid boss. Which essentially, if you've seen my other videos, is what I wanted. But the Traveler isn't having any of this and eradicates Gaul's turtle-looking ass from existence, which causes the light to spread all throughout the galaxy. And then the game ends, pretty abruptly if you ask me, as the Vanguard and you look out into the distance, reminiscing on their adventure as Bill Nye's beautiful British voice lulls you to sleep. The post-credit scene essentially just continues this moment as the light passes familiar locations from Destiny 1. But in Destiny, and really any action-adventure saga, things don't stay peachy perfect for very long, as the light brushes over a fleet of triangular ships, causing them to become illuminated, giving implications that they intend to invade and try to murder our mute robot faces. So what does this mean? Who is the incoming foe? What do they want? In this video, I will, as always, make an attempt to answer these questions and invite you all to give your opinions as well in the comments below. Typically, I present multiple different possibilities and end the video with my personal opinion, so throwing away the possibility that these are some nice aliens that want to come to the tower, socialize a bit, maybe get a cup of coffee, partake in various arts and crafts activities with one another. Who's on these ships? Well, I've done some digging and research of my own. I know I'm just as surprised as you are. Both online and in the Holy Gospel. Or as I, a normal person, calls it, the Grimoire cards. I've handpicked the best theories I came across and have also come up with a few of my own. The first I'll bring to your attention is that this has to do with the raid. Personally, while possible, sure, I don't think it makes much sense for numerous reasons. From a story standpoint, this seems a little too abrupt. I don't see why they'd introduce a new antagonist and even a potential new enemy faction and then just plop them in the raid without any precursory introduction. Also, from a business side of things, you'd want to keep people invested in your game for as long as possible. So in my opinion, these ships belong to a story that will unfold in an upcoming DLC, or maybe even a Destiny 3, who knows. This theory is the weakest of the bunch, hence why I put it at the beginning. I'm not saying it couldn't be in the raid, I guess we'll find out in a few days' time, but when I hear Leviathan raid, I think of giant sea monster on Titan, not really random frickin' Illuminati dudes outside the solar system. I know there were apparently some leaks regarding the raid or something. I don't know, I can't come up with enough time anymore to keep up to date with every fragment of potential news. So you guys can let me know about that if that's relevant at all. But regardless, I don't find the raid theory to be that likely. Next on our list is Nokris. Now, not a ton is known about Nokris, but neither is there a lot known about these ships, so technically it has potential. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Nokris is a hive entity of uncertain power. There are two different big theories involving Nokris, one stating that it's the brother of Crota, the other claiming to be Oryx's wifey. Or I guess, Crota's mom. I suppose I shouldn't assume, premarital sex is a thing, so What am I talking about? Now, in my video discussing the end credits scene to The Taken King, a prominent detail was Eris's words to her queen. In the video, I assumed she was referring to the Queen of the Reef, as I gave examples of why I believed this. However, quite a few of you in the comments believe that Eris was speaking to Nokris. I'll link you the video now if you want to watch it after this one ends, but basically this would imply that Eris is part of some evil hive plot. She's mentioned, but not physically in Destiny 2, so like I did in that video, I'll ask the question. What's she up to? This one does make sense to me a bit, but there are some factors that hold it back. Sure, you could make the argument that the ships look hive-related in some ways, but other than that, there's no evidence. Not to mention this whole hive revenge thing is kind of been there, done that in Destiny. Oryx's family has some serious issues, they should really be on intervention or something. The main reason that deters me from this theory is Bungie's track record. In these videos, I'll go through a lot of effort trying to link certain events together to make them feel like a bigger story arc, when it's really not. I'll also try to change the formula, altering characters' motives and allegiances in an attempt to make the game more unpredictable and, well, interesting for once. But as you've seen in Destiny 2, it doesn't look like Bungie wants to delve into any of that. Which just makes me believe that these ships just belong to a new race of enemy, which, being honest, out of all of the theories I'll present in this video, is easily one of the most likely. It may not be the most interesting or the most surprising, but it is the most probable, so you should definitely keep that option in mind. The final and most awesome of the bunch states that these ships belong to the physical entity of the darkness. When looking at the logistics, there's a lot of evidence associating the darkness with the triangular Illuminati ships that we see at the end of Destiny 2. So much so that it kind of confirms this to be true. The concept of the darkness is sort of difficult to understand, even for Bungie at one point apparently. It is described as this. The darkness is a powerful alien force inimical to the light, and is the ancient enemy of the Traveler, actively tracking it through the cosmos. The darkness once ruled the universe, and the Hive believed that the light must be consumed for the darkness to reclaim its domination. While never encountered directly, the darkness employs many minions, with some of its most powerful servants being worshipped as deities unto themselves. The Vex, Hive, and Taken are linked to this force. There are some important misconceptions to debunk after reading this. The darkness is not necessarily a placeholder name for any and every enemy in Destiny. It's its entirely own thing. It's also important to note that the darkness is not the ruler of the cosmos anymore, and is actively tracking the light. This is especially important if we look at the post-credit scene again. The ships don't start up until what? Until the light passes them. In defeating Gaul once and for all, the Traveler has made itself vulnerable, giving away its location to its most ancient enemy. This is plenty convincing to me. It would most likely be a new race of sorts, which is something Destiny hasn't had ever. Sure, you can count the Taken and Devil Splicers, but they are just basically reskins of old enemies. But perhaps the most incriminating evidence of all is when you actually use this thing called Google and search up the darkness. Not only is this the freaking picture that pops up on Wikipedia for it, but if you search images, you'll eventually find this one in its full 1080p glory. And while the links you click on associating themselves with these images don't really lead to anything, they're actually from quite a few years ago, the title says it all to me. This concept art Bungie put out called The Darkness. Seems legit. So assuming these ships are the darkness and they're coming to murder all of us, what else is still a mystery? Obviously at this point in time we can only speculate when this event is going to take place, but if you ask me, I'd guess not for a while. The darkness seems like a pretty big enemy, bigger than Gaul, so I don't think that they'd use them in DLC. It would be after the Osiris and Rasputin expansions at least. In an old interview when Luke Smith was asked about the darkness, he said this: "What we're doing with Destiny 2 is, we are deliberately telling a story about the light and what it means to be chosen. And as such, we're in the process of removing the term darkness from the game." This is also the same interview where he said the Stranger story was wrapped up, if you were wondering. That's completely irrelevant, I know, but it still pains me. This could mean a lot of things, but if you ask me, they probably just changed the name to something less generic, or it's some metaphor for how misconstrued the term darkness is in Destiny. I don't know. But that's all I've got to say about it, guys. Now it's your turn. Who or what is the evil force in Destiny 2's post-credit scene? And when do you think they are coming? Leave your responses in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, a positive rating would be greatly appreciated. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers, which is crazy. If this video could get me to hit that, it would be awesome. I've got some more videos coming soon, guys, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.